Peace. Welcome to Holistic Intuition, where we collectively explore health, raised consciousness, and overall holistic experiences such as self-love, cultural privilege, confidence, sex, friendships, oppressive systems, and much, much more, while encouraging you to be your best guide in this human experience through helping each other connect more deeply with ourselves.
Peace. Happy Sunday, y'all. I am so excited for this episode. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably saw our announcement that my partner and I started our meal prep service business. We're gonna get into it. I'm just super excited to talk about it. We're gonna talk about entrepreneurship a little bit, but before we get into that, we're gonna set our intention. And then also, we were just talking about this right before, but I just washed my hair, so my hair is wet. But so many times when we watch things on social media, especially Instagram, but YouTube, whatever, it's like we're seeing this version of people that's always perfect. Like my hair has to look perfect, everything is set out, and that's cool. Sometimes it's cool to have shit planned and you know what I'm saying, but I'm a real person and I didn't really feel like braiding my hair right now. I just didn't really feel like braiding my wet hair. So you don't always have to show up how you want people to see you in a certain light. Just be you. People appreciate the authenticity, okay? They do, because that shit is becoming harder and harder to fucking find. So let's get into setting our intention, and then we're just gonna have like a free-flowing video. You know, I don't really have anything planned. I'm just gonna talk about the business, entrepreneurship, and you can learn a little bit about me, and yeah, let's just get into it. So let's set our intention. I don't know what's going on with this wick. All right, let's take a moment. Okay, so a few days ago on the 26th, which was not exactly planned. I knew that I wanted to make the announcement. When everything was completely set up, we had a few little last minute things that I needed to finish for the business. So I knew I wanted to announce this on Monday or Tuesday, and it ended up being Tuesday, Mars Day, and the date was 4/26. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And I was like, damn, that's alignment right there. That's source talking to me through numerology. So we announced it on Tuesday, and basically a little rundown of what this business is it's called The Conscious Spot. So please follow us on TikTok and Instagram. You can order through Instagram. And we are primarily a meal prep service business. So we have 3 different packages where you can order all alkaline, plant-based, delicious nourishment, and we ship US nationwide. And then also, if you're LA local, you can order single meals. If you're not looking for such a big package, you just want to try out our food. We also have some juices, we have sides, and it's going to be, you know, a changing menu. It's not just like this is what it is forever. So you can order single meals, and we offer delivery and pickup if you're LA local. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen that I share, you know, what we create in the kitchen quite a bit, and it's really been a beautiful journey. You know, like when Ra, my partner, and I started dating, I don't really like that word. When we committed to each other, at the time, I was working and I was running a pod. For those of you that don't know, I am also a tutor. I've been tutoring and working with kids for 10 plus years and up to adults too. I tutored. So I was running a pod during COVID when a lot of kids weren't going to school, but parents were still wanting that classroom, like, group setting. So I was running a pod with first graders, and I was working 2 other jobs at the time. And I would come home and I was just wanting to be with him and just relax. So I was like rushing through dinner. And I still wanted it to be healthy. You know, we were plant-based at the time. We weren't alkaline yet. But I was just rushing the process. And I was getting frustrated because I'm already tired. I just want to eat. And when you rush any creation, it is not giving what it is supposed to give. So he's like not really liking the food, and then I'm even more frustrated because I'm like, I just made this, I'm tired, he doesn't like it, and it wasn't fun, you know. It wasn't what creating is supposed to be, you know. So over time, and with me stepping away from overworking myself, I really got into the mode of creating and what is creation and what is cooking, you know. And now I really look at it from such a different lens. You know, when I cook, when I create in the kitchen, it for me is like a direct line to source. Source is using me as a medium to create this nourishment. You know, it's like she's giving me all of these beautiful, nourishing, nutrient-dense plants. And she's literally grown, you know, she, whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't have a gender, but sometimes I say she, just because I'm tired of hearing he all the time. So it's like, I just think about this whole process of like, okay, these seeds were implanted into our mother, the earth. And then these light codes from the sun came down and with water and with all the other elements grew this beautiful seed into its full, you know, plant. And now I'm taking Source's creations and I'm turning that into another creation. So it's really this beautiful process. And then on top of it, sometimes I'm just like playing music really loud and I'm just having a really fun time, or other times I'm more in the zone and it feels very much like a meditative act. You know, I think I'm definitely going to have some podcasts on meditation because meditation has greatly changed my experience. But a lot of times we think about meditation as my eyes are closed, I'm sitting down, and I need to relax. And that's so far from what meditation is. It's really a box of what we think meditation is. Meditation is really just going inward. It's listening to yourself. It's creating and finding that peace within. And a lot of other things. You know, meditation is not just that. But I really do feel that sometimes when I'm creating. It's like I'm just like so in the zone. It's like I'm not even thinking about anything else around me. And so throughout that process of me cultivating that skill, I really grew an immense love and passion for creating in the kitchen. I always like to do like cooking here and there, but not how I do it now. And then once we transitioned into alkalinity, it was like a whole nother world because you have so many different things to play with. Like when we first became alkaline and I was looking at Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide, I'm like, okay, this is not that much shit on here. Like, aren't I gonna be bored? Like, what am I gonna make all the time? And we would literally make quinoa stir fries every single night. I was so sick and tired of freaking quinoa. Like, oh my God. So once we learned how to really play with these flavors, how to play with all of these different beautiful, flavorful herbs and make these homemade sauces, and like that is a game changer. Once you can't have a meal without a sauce, okay? Don't talk to me. If you don't have a meal without a sauce, it's not a meal. It's just a side or something. But once we started using these sauces and creating like ketchup from scratch and barbecue sauce from scratch and ranch and our creamy Alfredo from scratch. It was like, it was so fulfilling, it's so rewarding, because you're so much more connected to that plant life and plant medicine. So that was a lot, but it's just so much pouring out of me. When I really dive deep into how I got here, it was so many different increments. You know, it's like a lot of times we look at people and we're just like, how did they get here? You know, it didn't just happen overnight. I didn't just learn how to make sauces overnight. It was trial and error, you know? It was me being patient with myself. It was experimenting with different seasonings and really learning the seasonings, learning the flavors, learning the scents, you know? So it's really just been such a fun and also connective process for my partner and I to connect in the kitchen. You know, cooking is a very intimate experience, and I love that we share that together, and now we share this business together. And then on top of it, it's like we both like to cook, but I think I'm primarily the one that creates in the kitchen, and he's the one behind the camera. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you need to go right now. Pause the video, go to Instagram, come back, because his content is just so beautiful and meticulous and well thought out. Like, I have really grown my appreciation for editing and videography and photography through watching him, because I didn't realize how much goes into it. You know, we're so used to seeing these things like a transition of this or this effect on a commercial, and we don't really appreciate the person that put in that thought to do it. So now it's like we have an apple ginger juice, and we just made a video on it, and he has this one part where it's like he drops an ice cube in the cup, but then when he drops the one ice cube, it turns into like 3 ice cubes. And it's those little things that I really appreciate that sets our business apart, because the content is crazy. Like, the food can be good, the food can be great, but without having that eye for content, for creating these visuals, it's not gonna catch people's attention, you know? So I love that we can combine our passions and our skill sets together to create this service. You know, I really don't like the term entrepreneurship, because really what entrepreneurship is to me is creating. You know, you're creating a business, you're creating a service, you're just creating, you know, but we put this word on it, entrepreneurship, and then we tend to put ourselves in a box. And I was actually watching a TikTok the other day, and I really liked a lot of stuff she was saying. She was going into how a lot of things in the entrepreneurial space are just becoming funnels and systems. And I completely agree with that, because I firsthand know people that operate in that way of like, I just need to make a system, and then once I make the system, I'm gonna make X amount of money, and then I'm gonna be good. Okay, so tell me how that fulfilled your individual purpose on this planet, number one, and number two, how are you serving the collective in a loving way through creating a system? Is it possible? Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if you go on Instagram and you look at these big gurus, do they really give a shit about helping the collective? Do they really give a shit about, let's say they have a business like ours, like a meal prep. Do they really give a shit about feeding people nourishing food? Are they getting local, fresh, farmers market food like we are? No. Are they thinking about, not only do I want to give my customer nutritionally dense food, but I also want to support local farmers instead of big grocery chains? No. Are they thinking about preservatives in their food? Are they thinking about going to a restaurant depot or a big wholesale chain to get something in bulk to save money, versus I want to make sure that whatever energy is going into this food is going to be beneficial for the customer? Most people are not thinking like that. And even the people that say things like, oh, this is homemade, they're lying. 9 times out of 10, they're lying, okay? And those are the things that are really important to us, because the number one thing that is important to me about this creation, this business, is integrity. It is not making money. It is not growing my Instagram to thousands of followers. That is like on the back burner. Obviously, we do want to be profitable. That is obviously a goal. But is that the number one thing? No. And that's why so many businesses fail. That's why so many businesses that take off, but the person behind the business is depressed, is anxious, is unhealthy, is disconnected, because they lack integrity. Integrity is not always the easiest thing to stand on. Sometimes you gotta go against the motherfucking grain. But what are you standing on? Because that shit is not longevity. I don't really give a fuck about a system if I don't have longevity and I don't have integrity. If you feel like I'm swearing a lot, I am, because my passion is coming out right now. So that's just one way I show it sometimes. So that's something that, on a personal note, really attracted me to Ra when I first met him, was his level of integrity. Because especially as a man, that's something that I don't see a lot of men having. It's a huge lack of integrity out here. And his firm integrity was something extremely attractive and sexy to me. So now that we're together and we're creating this service together, I love that that's something that we're completely on the same page about. That's not ever something that we have to discuss. It's never a discussion of, oh, well, should we just get this from Restaurant Depot because it's cheaper? Even though it's been sitting in there for motherfucking 5 years and the shit looks disgusting? No. It was, oh, of course, we're going to go to the farmer's market. We're going to make sure we get high quality ingredients. We're going to support the farmers. We're going to get to know the farmers. We're going to build a connection with the farmers. It's not just like, okay, you give me this, I give you that. No, I want to reciprocate. I want a healthy, loving exchange. So this is not your typical business conversation, because I'm not your typical business woman. I'm not a business woman. I am me. And that entails a lot of different characteristics. And so that's something that I'm just really proud of both of us for embodying. And I really wish that more people would embody that, because I see right through the bullshit. I see right through the bullshit of all these Instagram gurus or people starting a business or this and that. I really don't give a shit what you're selling. I give a shit what you're about. Because whatever you're about, that's what's going to be given to me through your business, through your service, through whatever it is. And on top of it, we're doing a food business. If you know anything about energy, you know that energy exchange is very, very real. Energy fields are very, very real. So if you go to a restaurant and the person making the food is not in the right space of the right headspace, the right heart space, and they're touching your food, which is a living entity, what is that doing to your spirit? We're not taught to think like that, because then McDonald's would not be in business. Because then we wouldn't be going out to eat every night. You know what I'm saying? So when we create in the kitchen, we set the tone. I usually meditate before. I have high vibrational music on. We have some incense, some good smells, so that my senses are engaged. Outfit change. Just kidding. One of the clips got deleted, so if I repeat anything, my apologies, but basically in this clip of what I was saying for this episode, I was just going to go into what is on our menu. You know, what will you be indulging in? What will your taste buds be loving when you order from us at the Conscious Spot? So some of the things we have are fried oyster mushrooms, which mock fried chicken, and that plate comes with your side, your option of side of burro fries or burro mash. If you're unaware, burro bananas, which are naturally occurring bananas as opposed to the Cavendish bananas, the ones we see at the grocery store, they not only are way more nutrient dense, but they also are just super diverse in how you can use them. So obviously you can let them ripen and use them as a normal banana in a smoothie. You could make banana fritters, you could make banana bread, you could do anything. But when they're unripe, when they're more green, they mock potatoes, like spot on. So we make our fries with that. We make our burro mash, like I said. We have a crab cake plate. Delicious, delicious. Everything on here, every time I say it, it's like I can taste all the flavors in it. So our crab cake plate is obviously not crab. The crab cakes are made out of lion's mane mushroom. All mushrooms are so abundant, and if you're not aware of all the magical properties of mushrooms ingested, and when we're just walking on top of these mycelium networks, I really encourage you to do your own research and really your own feeling. You know, sometimes we think of research as like an outside thing. My research is when I take something and I can feel it for myself, and I'm not listening to someone else saying, this is how I feel. I want to feel how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So lion's mane in particular is really beneficial for your cognitive functioning. And so yeah, so there's lion's mane in there. There's a bunch of fresh herbs. And I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure everything currently on our menu is gluten-free as well. I can't think of anything that comes to mind that isn't gluten-free. And then with our crab cake plate, you get a side of our quinoa stir fry, and you also can order that as a dish of its own, entree of its own, which is scrumptious. We have a barbecue steak sandwich with portobello mushrooms. Portobellos are really great for a steak alternative. So like oyster is great for chicken. Portobello is great for steak. Lion's mane is great for crab or pulled pork or pulled chicken. Let's see. There's also a lobster mushroom. If you haven't heard, it looks like a lobster. You can use that as a lobster replacement. So mushrooms really are a beautiful replacement for almost every meat. We also have juices inside. So we have a tamarind ginger juice. We have an apple ginger. We have I don't know if it will be out by the time this episode comes out, but probably in the next week or so, because watermelons, seeded watermelons, are back in season. We're gonna have watermelon juice, which is so refreshing and delicious and hydrating and really helps with your energy. We have hummus for the side. Oh, one of our favorites, me and Ra's favorite off the menu, is our seafood Alfredo. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And I actually also made it for some of my family members, and I gave some to my grandma for Mother's Day. When I tell you, she did not even wait to get into the house to keep eating it. She was just like, I took off the cover and she was just eating it with her hands. She loved it. And my grandma doesn't even like pasta like that, so that's how I really knew this shit was bomb. But in our seafood Alfredo, we use lentil pasta, so that's much easier to digest, obviously, than regular pasta. and we use our creamy homemade Alfredo sauce. And then we use mock scallops, and instead of using scallops, we use king trumpet mushrooms. So like I said, another beautiful meat alternative. This might be my second favorite off the menu, is our spicy jerk mushroom bowl. So much flavor. If you love spicy food, you're really gonna love this dish. So we have mushrooms, we have mock plantains out of burro bananas. It's really just like saucy, it's spicy, and it's on a bed of quinoa. It's just hearty, it's really comforting. Like, it reminds me of something that you would want on like a winter day when it's cold out and you want to just be like in this warmth, and it's fulfilling. Like, it's so delicious. And then we have our loaded salad. I personally have really been enjoying salads recently, like ever since we went alkaline, and we've just been exploring with different dressings and just all the different things that you can throw in a salad. I love a huge salad. So I was like, okay, let's make a big loaded salad that has a bunch of stuff in it, all seasonal fruits and vegetables. And then you get to pick with your choice of either our homemade ranch or our homemade basil dressing, both. I don't know if I can really pick one because that, like, I really just love both of them. And then we have hummus as a side. You can get fries or mash as a side. And then we recently, if you follow our Instagram, which you should be, we recently posted a reel of something that we just on the spot really just created, a breakfast burrito. So before I go into what the breakfast burrito is, we really want our customers to have diversity. You know, if you're someone that's a repeat customer, we don't want you to get bored eating the same, 7-ish meals. So we are really open to creating new things. We're open to customizing. So if you are looking for something in particular, we are definitely open to doing that. It's not like, oh, it's not on the menu. No, we're not going to do that. This is all about on my end, it's about creating and just being in tune with my creativity and my love for cooking. And then on the other side of that is we are here to serve you. We're here to serve you delicious and exciting foods that make you feel great. So if there's ever something that you're like, I really wanted like an alkaline mac and cheese, you think you guys could do that? Yeah, we can do that. Let us know. Whatever you want, we are here, and we can work together. Maybe if you want to create a certain meal prep plan, we are definitely here to serve you and just to customize to your specific needs. So let's go back to the breakfast burrito. It's guacamole. We have fried oyster mushrooms, spicy zucchini, home fries, which were made out of the burro bananas with some peppers and onions, obviously fresh herbs, and then I also made a salsa verde. Ra was thinking that we should do our homemade ketchup in there because of the home fries, and then I was thinking, well, what if we did ketchup and then maybe like pico de gallo, because it was kind of like a Mexican inspired breakfast burrito. So I would definitely be open to changing up the sauces. If you want like guacamole and ketchup, that would be good, right? Yeah, hell yeah. What am I thinking? Like a sandwich? Yeah. We could do guacamole and ketchup. We could do guacamole and pico. Whatever you want. We're here to, like I said, to make you excited about your food. And then the other part that got cut off this clip that I wanted to talk about was just how the food is going to make you feel. So when Dr. Sebi created this nutritional guide, he really catered it to people that needed healing. So these foods will make you feel very different than the typical standard American diet foods. You will not feel heavy. You will not feel tired. You will feel electric because these are electric foods. The foods we use, the fruits we use have seeds in them. All these foods are fresh from our local farmers. So everything about this food, the way that your cells are taking in the nutrients is such a powerful part of why we created the Conscious Spot. We really designed every meal to be nutrient dense, to be fulfilling to you, and to be somewhat similar to the typical American diet. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need that transitionatory period. And so, I personally don't call things, oh, I'm making fried chicken tonight. I'll just say we're making fried mushrooms. But for people that are transitioning, I know sometimes that we need that period of being like, oh, okay, this reminds me of that. Whereas now I don't want to be reminded of dead animals. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a transition period. But these foods truly will make you feel amazing. You will feel energized. You will easily eliminate. And I really just can't say enough. You just got to try it yourself and let us know. But eating this way now for about a year, a little over a year, and I don't have any negatives to say about it at all. None. I have lost waste. My skin has improved. My energy has improved. My nervous system has improved. My sex life has improved. Like, I can't go, there is no negative to me by eating this way. And I think sometimes when people first look at the nutritional guide, they're like, well, isn't that super limited? If you're looking at it for the quantity of ingredients, then yes, it may seem limited. But when you look at it for all the different varieties of ways that you can create so many meals from these ingredients, it is far from limited. And the health benefits are far from limited. I know you guys are gonna love it. For the people that have tried it so far, we appreciate your support. And yeah, let's get back to our regular scheduled program. So many times we're used to, these standard American diets where the food is so overly processed, artificial chemicals, a ton of animal products, and there's a reason why your body feels the way it does after you eat that. You feel tired. You might even feel emotions arise. Sometimes when we get too full, it can kind of make us angry or upset because it's uncomfortable. A lot of people say your second brain is in your stomach. I don't agree with that. Your first brain is in your stomach, and this is our second brain. It's because majority, like serotonin, for example, the majority of serotonin is not produced up here. It's produced right here. So if your gut flora is not healthy, what's going on in the rest of your body? You're not aligned. Period. You don't have to be 100% alkaline. Don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you got to be all one way. But if you're not eating primarily plant-based, high vibrational foods, it's impossible to be aligned with self. If you don't understand that statement or you have questions, I invite you to explore that more within yourself. So, I'm gonna put all the information you need about us, the Conscious Spot. Follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. Listen, there's so many ways that you can support, okay? You don't have to necessarily support by getting our food. Obviously, we would appreciate that, but you can support by sharing our page, by liking our content, by going on TikTok and commenting and getting, helping our algorithm. One thing I've noticed, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, is that I recognize real, authentic support, and I recognize when it's not. So, not everyone knows what it entails to create all of this. So sometimes they might not give me that level of support or excitement or yeah, just overall support that I feel like is necessary, that at least I would give to other people. You know, I can't expect me from other people, but I will say, you know, for example, Angelique from La Angelique, I'll put her tag. She has a food business in LA. You know, when we first told her, and we were talking to her in person, that we just launched, her authenticity of just being like, oh, congratulations, that's so great, I'm so happy for you guys, you know, we need more alkaline foods. She didn't have to be over the top. It wasn't like, oh my God, like, no, that's not what I mean. But it's just that authenticity of feeding that person that support, that I'm proud of you. Because it does, it takes a lot. It's not just all the things that I named, it's all the internal work that went into me being confident, to me trusting that this business will take off. That is way deeper than me finding vendors and doing all that. I have to trust in source. I have to trust in divine timing. I have to trust in my own capabilities. That's another reason why a lot of businesses don't work out. Is number one, like I said, they're motivated by money and not integrity. But number two, they don't have what it takes personally because they haven't cultivated that in themselves yet. So thank you to everyone so far that has followed us, that has given us support, that has commented, that's liked, that sent us messages. We really appreciate that so much. Sincerely, we do. And we know without a doubt, if you try our food, you will be in heaven. You will love it. So thank you so much for tuning in, for feeling that passion that I was giving today. And I wish you all a beautiful rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you next week.